Okay, this is the backtesting session for May the 16th to May the 20th, 2022. Right now, I would definitely say I would speed up this video probably to 1.5 or 2x, just because I realize a lot of this can definitely be run on. But if you're trying to catch as much knowledge as you can, definitely just watch it at the normal pace. So, taking a look at the news here, we got 8:30 a.m. Empire State Manufacturing. So I already have it all marked up here. So I already have the news buffer. I have the previous day high, previous day low, and all the session liquidity marked up. So taking a look here at ES, we have lots of sell side liquidity here, and then we also have some relative equal lows for session liquidity. So ideally, my scenario here is going to be to sweep this session low, and then once we sweep that session low, I can determine either if we're looking to take out the previous day high, or we could also do something like this, where the market will take out this session high, have a strong 10-minute market structure shift, and then we'd actually trade towards the previous day low. So taking a look here on NASDAQ, though, it's a little bit different story. London actually swept the Asia low. So right now the bias, I don't really have, like I said, bias, right? Like at this point, I'm just going to be basing it off of price. So however, this previous session high, if it acts like a discount array, then that'll kind of give me an indication on how the market's going to move. So right now we're in that news buffer, so I have to let that go by first. So market swap the session high. See if we return to the discount array. Okay, we did. But it looks like it didn't really work out as a discount array, so that's a failed discount array. Instead, we have this 10-minute market structure shift. We want to validate it on the 5-minute though. It's definitely very important to note. So if we hide these indicators. Okay, so taking out Fibonacci tool, we want to go to the wick high to the wick low of the candle that broke structure. It didn't have a strong break because the candle body has to close below these two red lines. So we want to see if the next 3 candles do close below. So we can see that yes, they did close below, so we can start to look for an entry. However, with that being said, I really don't have any clear order blocks here. I'm not going to use this massive thing that we have here because I guarantee that thing is way too big. So really all we would have available to us is this, but not really the strongest of order blocks. With that being said, as long as we don't have any invalidations, we can take this for a 3R. Okay. So we can actually see here that we did end up getting tagged, and it hit TP pretty much instantly. So that is a EM1 V1 towards the previous day low. Damn, it was so fast. Like, it does happen though. So let's just mark this up for journaling purposes. Yeah, I don't know why my trading view's been acting like this. It's very stupid. I think we're gonna have to start back testing on the web browser because it's been having a lot of problems recently, at least on the app. So ESM, I think. Yep, super charts. Okay, yeah, so we're just gonna start back testing on the web browser for now, even though I absolutely hate it, but you know, is what it is. NQM, well, actually it was NASDAQ. Okay. So NQM 2022, going back to 16th. Okay. So, yeah, very fast entry. Okay, EM1, V1. NASDAQ closed R3, risk 0.5, AM session, 97 tick stop loss. Okay, relatively nice. Awesome. So let's see if we can identify anything else. So we still haven't taken out that previous day low liquidity. So let's see what happens here. Let's go on a 10-minute time frame. Let's see. Market actually came back into that order block. Looked like it swept it. You see, okay, honestly, this is a good example on why I don't target that previous day low fully, because look, I just took my 3R. I was quick in and out and then done. And then look at the rest of the day, it just consolidated. So definitely worth looking into. Anyways, take a look at NASDAQ, or not NASDAQ, ES. Okay, so kind of the same deal, except here it's a little more clear. These session lows are really, they need to get swept. So I'm waiting to see how we react if we sweep this session high. So let's let it play out. Remember, we got the news buffer as well. So let's see if the session high acts as a discount array. Okay, it did not. Looks like we had a 10-minute market structure shift here. Remember, we want to confirm that on the 5-minute time frame. So kind of similar story. You know, we want to take out our Fibonacci tool, go from the wick high to the wick low. We can see that it didn't close strong, so the continuation candle here didn't close either. So the next two, if they don't close below these two red lines here, we're not going to be looking for an entry. So did not close. Did not close. So we're not looking for any sells. So I guess it didn't happen at all here. This doesn't count as an opportunity either because nothing closed. So as far as I'm concerned, this could be reversing. Okay, interesting. Yeah, so market then swept the session low. And then we can really just see that market was just consolidating, building all of this sell side liquidity. But we actually took out a previous day high here, which is interesting. So I suppose actually what we could have looked for as well. The problem was that our original drawn liquidity target was that previous day low. 10-minute mark structure shift would be this high all the way up here if, say, we were looking for a buy. Oh yeah, no, definitely not. That's horrid. Yeah. Okay. Nonetheless, looks like the day kind of ended there. So that concludes the day for Monday. Let's take a look at Tuesday. We got a bunch of news here. Okay, so I'm not gonna trade until 8:40 because we got all this news here. So we'll mark up 8:40, but first let's play out these charts here. Awesome. Okay, cool. So mark up our news. So we're not going to start trading until 8:40, so I can just mark that up here. And then there was something else. What was it? FOMC member Powell. Okay, Powell is speaking. That's pretty big. Fed Chair Powell. Let's see. I believe I had a rule about this. This is why I have the rule book. So let's refer to that rule book really quickly here. Okay, so trading. Okay, let's take a look at the rule book. Okay, so we're not going to be trading the PM session, it looks like, because Powell is speaking. The reason why I have that is just because Powell moves the market so much that very rarely do our models play out for that. So I don't really care. It's no problem for me. So let's take a look here, 840, 836. Okay, let's mark up our daily liquidity. We can see that the daily high has been swept. So that means we're just going to be looking for EM2 scenario B because the previous day high was swept before the New York session. So to find that out, we need to mark up some old previous session highs as well as the current session high. Okay. And then the current session high. So pretty much we got to at the minimum sweep this session high before looking for a 10-minute market structure shift. And the overall liquidity target is going to be this area here. Doesn't mean the market will retrace there, but it is just my current target. Okay, let's do the same thing for NASDAQ here. Same exact story. Previous day high was swept. So we need to wait for a previous session high to be swept, which is this one here. That or an old previous session high needs to be swept. Definitely looking likely that we're going to sweep this old session high just because of how close by it is. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's tons of relative equal highs here. Perfect. Okay. With that being said, we'll start off on NASDAQ here. Okay, so we can see here that the market just wasn't really doing much. But let's take a look at what happens when Powell starts speaking, right? Just so you can see why I can't trade it. Okay, so let's say, okay, this is Powell time, right? Powell went by already. So let's see if we could find an entry. Nope, market was just dead. Literally completely dead. So, no problem. Take a look at ES. Might be a similar story. Yep, nothing there. Powell happened, nothing. Okay. So, no trades for Tuesday. Wednesday, we don't have any news, so that's excellent. We can just go straight to the point, look at our liquidity areas. Okay. Alrighty, so previous day high is up here. Okay, so we haven't swept any daily liquidity, so for that reason I'm looking for EM1 models. This Asia low was swept, and it looks like we broke it again. So the previous day high does seem like the more likely target here. However, we'll see how price reacts to our certain areas. So previous day low. Remember, we have no news for the day. Okay, yeah, we have this type of sell side liquidity here, so it's actually looking very nice to take out this previous day low, but we'll see what happens. Do the same thing for NASDAQ. Ooh, previous day low actually has relative equal lows. Okay, so I am now very comfortable looking for a sell, since like that's insane, the type of sell side liquidity we have there. So let's hop on a 10-minute time frame, see what happens at 8 a.m. 8 a.m. happened there. Let's just take a look here again at the low. Okay, so we swept the Asia low, or not the Asia, sorry, the London low. So even if we don't take out this session high, we could potentially look for an EM1 V2. Okay, so there it looks like we had a strong 10-minute market structure shift. So we swept the previous session low, which happened here, which this area now becomes a premium array, which I have marked as a P for premium, previous session low. 10-minute break of structure occurred. Okay, so market broke the session low, became a premium array, and then had a strong 10-minute break of structure without breaking structure to the buy side. So this is looking like a strong indication for a buy, or not for a buy, sorry, a sell towards all of this liquidity down here. Take a look at the 8-minute. Let's go back. Yeah, this is the entry I'd be looking for. This is just going to be for 2R, but we can see it's nicely aligned there. All right, so unfortunately, we did not have any entry there, but we're still going to mark this up in our journal as a opportunity. So 144 NASDAQ Wednesday, EM1 V2 pair NASDAQ, no entry, 144 AM session, and then there we go. Okay, so now we can either look for a EM3 or a EM2. So to mark up these models, we also have to keep in mind the old previous session lows, just in case the market continues to fall. So pretty much what we're looking for right now for a EM2 is we need to have like an immediate kind of reversal after sweeping the previous day low, or we're just gonna keep falling towards this previous session low. And essentially with EM3, we're looking for like, the continuation if the market decides to go towards these session lows. So that's why it's built that way. So if we do have an immediate reversal, this should be the high that we are looking to have a market structure shift. We don't have a 10-minute break of structure yet, so we're not looking for any EM3. Okay, so here we can see that the market swept the previous day low, retraced into these areas of premium. Market failed to have a bullish market structure shift. Instead, we had a strong 10-minute break of structure, which occurred right here. So if we take out our tool, so we need our Fibonacci tool here from the wick high to the wick low of whatever broke structure. We can see that the candle body did close below the 2 red lines, so we can look for a sell here. Now, in terms of entry here, this is the most extreme order block. We can see it's relatively large, so we can't take this here. So this will just be for 2R, which is kind of aligned with the session lows, so pretty comfortable with it. Okay. There you go. So there is a EM3 win here on NASDAQ towards the previous session lows. We can see it played out incredibly nice. So we'll mark that up as a win. 177. This occurred in the AM session. Okay. Okay, so EM3, NASDAQ, 2-hour win, 0.5 AM, 177. Oh. Copy the link for this as well. Awesome. Okay, there we go. So doing good so far. And now the nice thing is, since we caught that continuation down towards these session lows, now we can still have the chance to look for that EM2 retracement, given that we have some sort of strong reaction off these session lows and we break structure, which we can see we have a pretty nice swing high right here. Okay, looks like market is still tanking here. Let's see if there's any other relevant session lows that we could potentially extend out to. Looks like this could be the next point. We'll have to see. Okay, yeah. Looks like we did aim for that and we had a nice reaction. So this might provide us an opportunity to look for our EM2. No, still going. Okay. So the fact that we had that break of structure tells me it has more will to keep going downwards. However, the way that it's looking is we likely won't have any opportunities for today for EM2. But with that being said, who knows? Literally seen anything work. Okay, so market did have the strong will to sweep that session low, and we can see it had a strong reaction. However, it is the end of our trading day, so we can no longer look for an entry. And it looks like there's still some will. That's crazy. All right, no problem. So that ends the trading day for NASDAQ. Let's take a look at ES here. So again, we're just gonna react to price, right? So let's let this play out here. So we just swapped the session low, so we could potentially look for a EM1 V2 towards the previous day low, or instead what could happen here, because remember at the time we didn't know, market could just sweep the session low, have a strong 10-minute break of structure, and then we could just trade towards the previous day high. So let's see what happens. Market, let's see, retraced. Okay. Market then had a strong break of structure, which occurred right here. So this is valid for a EM1 V2 towards the previous day low. Take a look at the 5-minute time frame here. We can see that we did have a strong candle body close. I don't need to take out the Fibonacci tool for that. It's pretty obvious. You can see it. So we want to look for an order block to take an entry from. This looks to be the best order block that we have. Taking a look at the size there, I'm honestly gonna want to take this intermediate term high here. We want to target this for 3R, and we can see it's decently aligned with the previous day low, so I'm relatively comfortable with this entry. Okay, so we did not have any opportunity, or sorry, we did have an opportunity. It just did not enter, so let's mark it down. 42 on ES, EM1 V2, pair ES, closed R, no entry, 42. I'm marking up the no entries too, by the way, because it helps me determine like the strike through rate, which I haven't done for these models, but definitely strike through rate's probably like 60-70%, I'd say. So now we can either look for an EM3 or an EM2 model. So just in case an EM2 model occurs, we need to be aware of the old previous session lows. So there's one. There's 2. There's 3. There's 4. We'll draw those up for now, see what happens. Can't look for a 10-minute break of structure here for a EM3 because it looks like market had a retracement, created all these equal lows. Yeah, I just would not be comfortable looking for an EM3 trade there. Although I guess if we did go back in time here, we would have created our low, right? Because if we go on the 10-minute here, we did create a gap. So, okay, you know what? Actually, this would have counted. Because we have this 10-minute break of structure line here, which we would have started to look at once we created that gap. The market took out the low. We returned to an area of a premium, which is this previous day low. Market failed to have a 10-minute mark structure shift to the buy side. Market then failed to have a break of structure again. Once market broke the break of structure, we could take out our Fibonacci tool. We can see that the Fibonacci tool, the candle body closed below the 2 red lines. So from that point on, we can identify a 5-minute order block. Because this is the only order block here, I'd only be interested in entering off of that candle body there. So let's see if this is a decent size for ES. 31. So we could catch this for 3R. Okay, so we got our entry triggered there at the candle body volume. And we can see it would have been tagged for 3R. So let's copy that image. 31 ticks. EM3. What was the stop loss size? Stop loss size was 31 ticks. AM 0.5 3R win. Nice. Okay, so now we can still have the opportunity to look for our EM2 model, given that if we have a strong reaction from these session lows. Okay, swept that one. Swept another. We swept another. Okay, let's see if we can identify another one. Because who knows, right? Like it might be a different scenario than NASDAQ. We don't know that. I've seen it happen. Okay, so take a look. No, we have more will to keep going lower as we keep breaking structure. Okay, we took out that last session low, but it is now 320. So no more opportunities for the day. Let's take a look at the news for Thursday. Philly Fed at 8:30. So we want to make sure we have that marked up. Okay, so before we start drawing up our liquidity, let's draw up the news buffers. So I think, 8:30 was one of them? Yep, 8:30 and then 10. So news buffers. There we go. Do the same thing for ES. Awesome. Now, taking a look at the liquidity here, previous day low was swapped already, and it happened before the New York session. So now we are only looking for an EM2 scenario B. So to even begin to look for our EM2, we first need to sweep out this previous session low. And the overall target for the day is going to be these relative equal highs, the Asian liquidity for a Tokyo London reversal model, also known as EM2. So if this session high gets swept before an entry the entire day, we're just going to stop looking for entries. Just in case that doesn't work out, we do want to mark up the old previous session lows. Let's see if we can find any more. Okay, I'm not seeing any more, so I guess we found our floor. Considering that they're relatively equal lows, we're probably gonna have a very strong reaction, honestly. So let's do the same thing here for NASDAQ. Same story, previous day low swept. The target for the day is gonna be this Asia high up here. First, we need to sweep out this previous session low before even considering a buy. And then identify any old session liquidity as well. Awesome. Okay, not seeing anything. All right, let's play it out here. 10-minute time frame. Let's go. Okay, news. Okay, we can see that the previous session high was swept, which was our liquidity target for the day. So for that reason, I'm no longer looking for EM2 on NASDAQ. So let's take a look at ES. Okay. We still have that session high intact, but before I can consider a buy, we need to sweep that previous session low at the minimum. No, okay. Gonna be no entries there either. So let's play it out for Friday. See if we get anything else. This is definitely gonna be a TGIF model that we're looking for here. So take a look at Friday news. Nothing, no problem. So taking a look here, previous day high was swept before the New York session. So what does that mean? We are looking for a EM2 only today. However, with that being said, not very confident honestly in it, but who knows. That's why we have these models, because I'm not really like stuck on something. If price is moving finicky, then guess what? Like, I'm not going to be taking any entries. So the overall liquidity target for the day is going to be this Asia low. We need to mark up any old session highs as well, just in case. So remember, EM2 scenario B says we need to sweep some session liquidity before we look for a 10-minute market structure shift to the, in this case, the sell side. So previous day high swept. At the minimum, I need this previous session high to be swept first. And remember, it is Friday, so I do only trade the AM session on Friday. That's my own personal preference. Okay, old previous session high. Let's go on a 10-minute time frame here. 740. Okay, it looks like we might be taking out this session low before sweeping that high, which is no problem. That kind of works out anyways for a TGIF, but who knows. Okay, nope, that's it. That concludes the day for ES. Take a look at NASDAQ. Okay, that concludes the trading day as well for Friday. So if we take a look here at the results for the week, we can see that we had 3R 3R, 6, 7, 8. So we are up 8R for the week. The month's been pretty slow. The week before there was 0, and then the week before -1. So 7R so far for May. Normally in these slower months, the final week normally comes in clutch, but 8R for the week is pretty strong.